Hello everybody, this is Howard the Teaser King coming to you with week 3 already of the NFL. It's amazing how quickly the weeks go. You finally wait for the season. It's week 1 and now it's week 3. Some adjustments that I've had to make. I did a college adjustment. I'll kind of combine this with the week 3 plays. Some adjustments that you're making, if we just go team by team. Houston with Osweiler. Their offense is a little bit better than you think. Still a great defense. I think still pretty much an under team. New England's New England. They win with Graffanilio. Now they got Brissett from North Carolina State, who was a good quarterback in college. I think he was on Florida, and he transferred to North Carolina State, so you worry about that. He's okay. He's not great, but they'll probably run the ball and play defense tonight with New England. I look for that game to be under, actually. I think it'll be, the over-under is 41.5. I'd say go under 47.5 in that game. Denver looks good. The new quarterback looks okay. I mean, from a Northwestern guy he's not a great quarterback. He's average, but he'll work out. Cincinnati, same choke Cincinnati. Should have played better against Pitt. You know, it's so frustrating, all that talent, and they play Pitt, and they, score 14 points, and you're like, really? Oakland looks very explosive. Derek Carr is great. Cooper's great. The defense still isn't there, but they're pretty much an over team. Tennessee is a great bet against team at home. They're at home this week, so hint, hint. I look for Tennessee with DeMarco Murray. Probably adds more balance. Mariota's okay. He's getting a little bit better. They should never have won in Detroit. Detroit commits way too many penalties. They're still a terrible team. Maybe a little bit better offensively, but I don't see a whole lot there. I would say anytime they're favored to bet against them, especially at home. Arizona, again, Palmer chokes against New England, and then he comes back. I should have locked that game, but I don't like locking a game after I lose a lock with them. I locked them against New England, figuring Brady wasn't playing. Last week should have been a lock. I knew they were going to kill Tampa Bay, and I had them big in 2 teasers. That's the key to the teaser. When you have a team like Arizona off a loss, it's either a lock or you're going to make it a very, very strong play. And when you get those very, very strong plays in a teaser, is what you want to play in 2 or 3 teasers. That's the point of the teaser. You got to find 2 teams, and you get to adjust at 6 points. So they're laying 7 to Tampa. So you cut it to 1. So you might as well play it in 2 or 3 teasers because you've got the 1 winner. So now you're hunting for 3 other winners, but now you just get the 6 points with the other side. So your odds on winning the other side have gone up dramatically. So therefore, it makes it a lot easier, and that's how you should bet teasers, when you find that very, very strong play, a good team off of a loss. That's when you pound it and you put them in a couple of different teasers. That's my advice on that. This week, so Buffalo, again, no offense. Tyrod Taylor's terrible. Their defense is a lot of suspensions for drugs and injuries, so they're really just kind of a weak team right now. Baltimore, I have no idea. 13 points on Buffalo. Then they come from behind to beat a terrible Cleveland team. I'd say they're below average, maybe a C minus. Who knows? Jacksonville, I have no idea. I think they're still kind of a weak team. Maybe a little bit more offense, but still a weak team. Cleveland, who the hell knows? They keep going through quarterbacks. I think they're just a weak team. I don't know. Their defense might not be too bad. You'll have to see who their players are, but they're not a team I'll be betting on ever. So Miami, again, good defense. Tannehill's terrible. Very weak offense. I'm waiting for Dougherty to come in from Western Kentucky. He should be their quarterback. I agree. Give him at least 6 or 8 games or a whole year, and then he'd be my man next year for sure. Let him watch. Let him learn. You know he can do it. He had 500 yards a game at Western Kentucky. and he threw, I don't know, 30, 40 touchdowns with just a few interceptions. See, this is the part that kills me. You can't say it's the system like, oh, well, it doesn't count. He threw 40 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. It doesn't count. He threw for 500 yards. Bullshit. It counts. Just put him in some form of a system that he can excel in, and you're going to put up 30, 40 points a game. Just, you got to have that mentality. Run his offense. It worked in college. There's no reason it won't work in the pros. It's a passing offense. It's not like one of these Oregons where you're running the quarterback. I mean, so just, I hate that they always go to these pro offenses that don't work, and they won't look at the college offense and say, this Baylor offense seems to put up 60 points a game with every team that does it in college. So let's not use it in the pros. It might actually work. And that just is ridiculous. That's why the NFL has so many problems. They're worried about quarterbacks. Bryce Petty's not playing. Dougherty's not playing. Paxton Lynch isn't playing. And then you wonder why you don't have good quarterbacks when the good quarterbacks aren't playing. It's so stupid. It's just ridiculous. The Jets, start Bryce Petty. I mean, what are you waiting for? Fitzgerald's terrible. I mean, come on, man. Washington, look like, again, no quarterback, kind of a weak team. Kind of an over team, weak defense. They'll score some points. The Giants look like an under team now. It looks like they're going to run the ball more, and they're going to play more defense, more aggressively. So at this point, I think they're an under team, not an over team. Detroit is what they are. Terribly unorganized team. A lot of penalties. Stafford's average quarterback. You see, they're an average team. The defense is terrible. Too many injuries. I just don't think they're very good. They'll be lucky to win like 4 or 5 games. A perfect example. He should have easily beat Tennessee, score a touchdown, holding. Score another touchdown, holding. Score a third touchdown, holding. So you give up 3 touchdowns in the game, and then you lose it. Well, why are they holding? Because they don't have very good players. They don't coach very well. They don't explain, hey, the guy's over here and I'm over here. Maybe I shouldn't hold because it's useless. It doesn't enter into the play. So I just think obviously they got trouble all the way, but they're just a terrible team. Green Bay, I don't know what's wrong with them. As long as you got Rodgers, you got the quarterback. I mean, they'll be fine, but they're just a little bit slow right now. I figured against Minnesota that they would lose or it would be very tight. They beat Jacksonville, which I had them, but again, they made that tight. But that's what I go back to. When you don't have the preseason and you don't play these guys because you're so afraid to get them hurt, and they get hurt anyway because it's football, now by the 3rd week, I look for Green Bay to start picking it up. I think that, like I said, the first 2 weeks are preseason. They're basically getting into shape. They're getting the rhythm and timing down. So I'll look for Green Bay with Jordy Nelson and him to finally get it going. That would be my view. Minnesota, great defensive team. They lost Peterson. Look out there. I think that they got other running backs, but look for them to be a little bit more defensive. With Bradford, they'll be okay. Great defense, probably number 1 or 2 in the league. So I would just think they'll be under games. Carolina looks like Carolina. I'm sure they'll be strong again. They're great at home, so definitely I think they're the top team in the NFC. Frisco, I don't know what they're doing with Blaine Gabbert. He's stunk in college. I don't know what he's in the pros for. Kaepernick's terrible. They don't really have a quarterback. He's trying to run the Oregon offense. Now, when I say college offense, I'm meaning Baylor, Western Kentucky, good passing offenses, not... You don't run your quarterback. That's not very good. I don't know. Frisco's a terrible team. Their defense looked pretty good. So they're probably a good under bet. Seattle, I don't know what's wrong with them. The Rams have a very good defense, so the 9-3 game last week didn't totally surprise me. But I don't, Seattle just is out of sync right now. I think they miss Marshawn Lynch. They're not really running the ball. I think they have offensive line problems. Their defense is still the best. So I look for them to be a very strong under team. The Rams, I just talked about, great under team. Casey Keenum, not a bad quarterback at Houston. I don't think he's their whole issue. Jared Goff is nothing. He, to use the excuse he's never taken a snap under center is a bunch of bullshit. You can't tell me in high school he never took the ball under center or in college, that every play and every practice he never did it. I don't think it's that hard to go under the center and say hike. Come on. I played junior high football. It wasn't that difficult for the junior high 8th grade quarterback to put his hand under the butt and catch the ball. So that's a bunch of crap. I just don't think I think it's a system. Cal's got a very good system. You can see the next quarterback up Stone for 500 yards. I don't think Goff's very good. But is he better than Keenan? I don't know. I saw Keenan in college. He looked very good. So I'd say from college, I think they're about equal. Tampa, they are what they are. They're average team, not very good. Winston, throw a lot of interceptions, goes for a lot of yards, scrambles around. Basically, they're not very good. They're probably more of an over than an under, though, because I think Winston will put points up, but I don't think their defense is any good. Pitt, very good offensive team. Their defense is coming in. Probably an over against good offensive teams and probably an under against good teams that run the ball and play defense. So if they played Seattle, I'd say it's an under. If they're playing San Diego, I'd say it's an over. But Pitt will score a lot. Philly, Wentz, I don't know. He looked good against the Bears. I think he'll be okay. Apparently against the blitz, he read it pretty well, which is good in understanding where to throw it, and he doesn't turn it over. So I think he'll be a little bit better than I thought. But again, I never saw the guy. I would never have drafted him number 2, but I think he's a lot better than Goff. But I still think Brandon Dougherty is going to be better than him, and I think Bryce Petty, when he gets in, will be better than him. Once you let these real good quarterbacks actually play. The Jets, good defensive team. Fitzpatrick's weak. Put in Bryce Petty, they'll do much better offensively. So they're pretty much an under team. Kansas City, same old team. Good, adequate offense, pretty good defense. They're pretty average all around. They're not great. They're a good team. San Diego, as long as they got Woodhead, Gordon, and Gates and Rivers, are a very good team. They can compete with anybody, and they're a very strong dog. The problem is when they lose Woodhead, or they lose Gates, or they lose Rivers, that's when they fall apart. So right now, at this point, they're a good over team. They'll score a lot of points, and they'll be in there. Indy needs an offensive line, needs a defense. They just got Andrew Luck. They're probably an over team because they can score points. The Bears, Cutler out. Stanton's, I think, playing. He's average. He's on a 1 to 10, 10 being the best. He's a 3. Do they have the defense? They don't have they never really replaced whatchamacallit, my man, the middle linebacker. Bald head guy, I can't think of him. They never really replaced him. Their defense is average. Their offense, I like MSU guy, the big running back. I'm not thinking Bears right now, but they have a pretty talented offense. It's kind of a weak defense. I think they're more of an over team. Dallas, Dak Prescott looked good at Mississippi State, so I don't know why everybody's so surprised. Just the thing, if you watch college football and you watch Dak Prescott at Mississippi State, you're going, yeah, he's good. Now, guess what? When they draft Chad Kelly from Mississippi and he goes in the first round, are you going to be surprised that he's good? Are you going to be surprised Luke Falk from Washington State's good? If you watch the games, Patrick Mahomes from Texas Tech, when he gets there, are you going to be surprised he lights it up? This is what blows my mind. If they're watching college, this guy from Washington, Browning, I think. These guys are so good. If they'd watch the games, they wouldn't be surprised at all, and it'd be very easy to draft a quarterback. But they don't watch the games, and then they go, oh, Dak Prescott, wow, I didn't know he'd be this good. Shit, watch him at Mississippi State. I mean, he almost beat Alabama by himself. I mean, the guy's he's a winner. He's a very good quarterback. So I'm not surprised at all that they're doing well. So I look at Dallas to continue going. I think they're probably an over as he gets more used to the offense. Atlanta, they have no defense. They got Julio Jones. Matt Ryan, I never thought he was really good anyway. I think he's an average quarterback. I don't get all the hoopla about him. He's not a winner. Too many turnovers. So they're probably an over team. I don't think they have the defense. And New Orleans, who's supposed to be a great over team, I don't know what happened to them against the Giants, but at home against Atlanta, look for a lot of scoring in that game. So that's the breakdown. So let me give you a couple of games. So I mean, so you got to reinvest every. See, this is the beauty of it. None of these teams are teams. They're just players, and then you adjust to who's the best player, what team's he on, and that's the team I start betting. You don't fall in love with Philadelphia and they stink, or Miami. Yeah, they won 2 Super Bowls back in the 70s. Or the Steelers, and that's what everybody does. They bet emotional instead of that. Instead of betting, it is what it is. So, again, let me give you a nice little teaser here. All right, Cincinnati's laying 3 to Denver. You got Andy Choke Dalton against Simeon at Denver. The Trent's favorite Denver is the dog. Denver's a very strong dog. Denver's defense wins anywhere. I wouldn't be surprised if Denver wins the game. The line's Cincy laying 3. You get Denver 9. I think that's a very strong play. Anytime you get the team that can win the game getting the points, that's what you love. So I take Denver plus 9 to the bank. Thank you very much. Let me give you the second game of that. Carolina's laying 7 to Minnesota. Now this is a very interesting game. Carolina at home, 20-1 in a teaser as a home favorite. Minnesota on the road, 15-1 as a road dog. You have a conflicting trend here, but the reason I'm taking Carolina minus the 1 is called Adrian Peterson's out with the knee. I don't care about Bridgewater being out. Bradford's just as good, if not better. But when you lose Adrian Peterson, it becomes one-dimensional. As good as the Minnesota defense is, I think Newton can get enough points, and I think the Carolina defense will stop Minnesota. I think this game will be fairly close, but Carolina minus 1, I like that. I think it could be a little trouble, but I think Carolina can pull it out at home. I know there's the disruption with all the problems going on in Charlotte right now, but I think the football game brings everybody together, and I think Carolina laying the 1 wins the game. I think they win by 4 or 5 points or 6 points. I think it'll be close. I think it'll be a game you can tease either side. As far as over-under, I would probably look more for the under than the over, with the Vikings going to play, tight defense. Carolina's defense is good. But I just think Carolina at home is just a team like Minnesota is not going to beat them. Look at Seattle last year in the playoffs, who had a great defense, and they ate them up. And then look at Arizona, who has a very strong defense, and they ate Arizona up. And I was surprised, but both games were at home. And had they played Denver at home, I think they would have beat them. But again, going on the road was a different story against Denver. But to beat Seattle and Arizona, 2 of the strongest defenses in the league, is enough for me to not, Minnesota's defense is up there, but it's not better than Seattle's, and they ate up Seattle's last year. So I look at that. I do have one lock going in the pros. Go to www.teaserking.com. Just go to purchase picks, pick the lock. If you want my me as an advisor, it's $50, and I will help you with any of the other games. I give you a pretty good rundown of each team, so you have an idea. I can give you teaser trends, which I do, which is, like I told you, Carolina's 21 as a home favorite. Well, it's certainly nice to know that when you're betting what the trend is. That's the key. That's the personality. That's the matchup you're looking for. So you're looking for like a good road dog against a weak home favorite. A weak home favorite means a bet against, play against home favorite. So let's say Detroit is a lousy home favorite. So when they play Chicago and Detroit's favored by 3, you bet Chicago and 9. When I say play against or weak means you take the other team and the points. When I say play means you take that team. So Carolina, you play, they're 20-1 in a teaser at home. You play Carolina at home. But when I say play against, it means if it's Detroit, you play the other team and you tease it up. So just for reference there. So, but I have all the trends, so it makes it a lot easier when some team's 20-1. You're not betting a 50-50 anymore. Now this works much better in the pros than college. It still works in college, but in the pros, the reason it works is there's more consistency. Green Bay's got Aaron Rodgers. Cam Newton will be on Carolina for 10 years. So you don't have that. You have the minor, maybe they pick up a running back in the draft or a receiver, but basically it's Peyton Manning going from Indy to Denver. Now I redo the trends for Indy and redo the trends for Denver. But otherwise, it's the trends. Tom Brady at New England. I can go back to 2000 and give you Tom Brady's trends with New England. And they're not as good as you think, but don't ever bet against them when they're the dog. When New England's the dog, they're unbeatable. So that's what you look for. So it's a consistency thing. It's the coaching. But that's what you want is the teaser trends, and that's what I have. So for $50, I'll be your consultant, your advisor. I'll help you on all the games. I'll help you bet, figure out your cash flow, figure out your bankroll, how many units to play. What I do in teasers, first of all, about 1% of the population can do. Just to find the teaser, to get the matchup, and then how to play the teaser, how to bet the teaser. It's not easy. And when you see my results on the site, that's what you're looking at, is I'm trying to give you units. So if I say, bet this teaser, Denver with Carolina for 777, I'm saying bet 7 units on the game. And the 7 units, well, how much is my unit? That's what you got to figure out. So to me, the unit is about 10% of your bankroll. So if my bankroll is $1,000, I'm probably betting 10% or $100 on each unit. And maybe a little less. Maybe I'm betting 5%. Maybe I'm betting $1,000. Maybe I'm starting at $50 a unit. So when I get to a lock, I might put 10 units. I might bet $500 on my lock. On my regular games, I might put $50 or $100. Now my lock, I'll probably put like $250 on. My bankroll is $1,000. But the idea is that you're betting each unit, and then you're trying to increase your bankroll, and then you're increasing your unit bet amounts as you increase your bankroll. So that's really what you're trying to do. So right now, $1,000, you're probably betting 50 on a normal teaser, maybe 200 on the lock, and then you go from there. And then now I give a lot of teasers because I'm trying to give a lot of games and a lot of selections to people. You can play exactly my teasers, or you can look at the teams, and like last week I was 10-3 in the pros. So you could have liked them. You could basically say, I like this team. Does Howard like it? Yes. Or you could actually bet my teasers. So you could go bet by bet by bet, or you can say, well, I like his lock. I'll take his lock, but maybe some of the other games I'll put in my own teasers for less units or whatever. So it's a guide. It's not. It's a unit thing. I'm trying to show strength. So if I have a 5-unit play versus a 7-unit play, like this week my lock's 11 units. So I'm saying to bet it strong, bet that lock strong, and then you could actually lose two or three little 5-unit plays, hit the lock at 11-unit play, and one other game, and you could hit 2 teasers, lose 3, and you're still ahead because you bet 11 and 7, you bet 18 units, and you lost 3 5-units, you lost 15 units, and you're a winner. And keep in mind, at the William Hill Casino in Vegas, there is no juice on college teasers. So I'm tired of people saying, are you counting juice in your totals? It's not about juice. It's not. They're just markers. They're showing you this is how many units. This is how much we're up. Um, so we won $44,000 units, whatever you want to call it, last year. So it's a very profitable year because I don't know what your unit is. So up 44,000 of what? I can't tell you. I'm not betting I'm betting my own, but I'm not betting yours. So your unit, I could have $1,000 player or $500 player or a $10,000 player. So his units transform into the amount he bets on the game. So mine mostly I'm starting at 100. I go to 500. I'll go to 1,000 as I build my bankroll and I win and I get a better feel of the teams. Now I understand the Giants aren't an over team. I won't make that mistake again. And by week 6 or 7, they might play Seattle, and I'm going to bet that game is a lock under because the Giants are an under team, Seattle's an under team. So you look a lot like that. Anyway, so that's what I do, and that's what I'm trying to do. So just relax, look at the results, look at the teams. I'm trying to give maybe a few more teams than I would actually bet, just to give selections for the people that are buying the picks. Here's all my picks. One guy lost a 10-team teaser because he took Washington State, Idaho over. And I love Washington State laying the 20 or the 21 because I heard the coach pitch that they're he's gonna kick their ass. So I told him, if you would have talked to me, let me be your consultant for $50, I would have told you to take Washington State instead of the over, because I know Idaho can't score. And that's not what you're looking for in an over. Now, had they played Middle Tennessee State, for example, I would have said play that over because Middle Tennessee can score. Or South Florida, or Washington. Washington State's an over. But when you play Idaho, who can't score, why would you play the game over? You play Washington State. So he would have won the 10-team teaser had he let me be his consultant for that. So that's what I mean by being the consultant. I can give you the best way to play the game. Now, I'm not going to be 100% right, but I'm probably at least in the 75 to 80 percentile. So anyway, that's what I've been doing for a long time. Anyway, www.teaserking.com. 4 locks this weekend, 3 college, 1 pro. A lot of good pro games that are picked. A lot of things are much more focused because I'm now reanalyzing from the beginning when you really have a very little knowledge and you're looking back at last year to now, how does Western Kentucky replace Brandon Dougherty and Memphis replace Paxton Wentz? So as you see the new quarterbacks come out, now you readjust. So that's what we do this time. And probably by week 5, week 6, I've got the focus. I can see who the new players and the new teams and how they develop. And then I just can go on fire and hit everything. All right, everybody. www.teaserking.com. Have a nice week. Good luck. And I hope you make it time.